Who would have thought that an episode about a bunch of teenage superheroes moving into a dorm room would be this much fun? Greetings, my friends! My Hero Academia returns with an episode which is delightfully goofy and will hit you in the heart by the end of the episode. This was a really fun episode, and it truly made me realize that I think some of my favorite moments from My Hero Academia are not the fights, but actually just the character interactions. And now we're going to get a lot of them, and that's because all of the students of Class 1A are actually going to be living together in dormitories at UA High School. They're going to be staying in this really swanky mansion-looking place known as Heights Alliance. Just by seeing their room, you learn so much about them. Like, yes, they do have these generic-looking dorm rooms, but they're able to adorn them with the things that make them them. Whether they be posters, bed sheets, or even Japanese-styled wood paneling, this is an episode which truly gets you to understand these characters, and I really loved every single second of it. It was a little long-winded in some senses, and I can even see some people being disappointed by this episode, as it basically just consists of seeing the room of every single student. But I really liked it. It was a fantastic showcase for all of these characters, so let's just sort of break down some of my favorite moments from this episode. So as I said, the story of this episode of My Hero Academia is that all of the students are moving into the dormitories and they all get to deck out their room in their very own style. When they finally move in and get comfortable, that's when Mina proposes that they have a big contest to see who has the best room. Who can be room king? And of course, they start in Izuku's room, which is basically just an otaku room. Kind of like the stuff that I have behind me, except that it's all been replaced with All Might memorabilia. It's a really funny moment, and I'm kind of glad that they got his out of the way, because they could have spent a lot of time with him, being that he's the default character. The rest of the episode focuses on every single one, and some of these rooms are absolutely insane. Some that really stick out to me, one, of course, is Tokoyami Fumikage, the crazy crow dude. His entire room is just dark and gothic. It's got these purple candles which are lit. It's the only light that you see in the room. It's got a sword that Izuku is completely obsessed with. It basically just proves that Tokoyami is the ultimate edgelord of the entire series. But there are other pleasant surprises in this episode. Some of them are kind of obvious, like Kyoka having a ton of musical instruments in her room, being that she's kind of a rocking girl. Then you have Ochako, whose room is relatively normal. She's actually just happy to be living in such a large place, which looks like a mansion, a fact that she will tell the viewer multiple times, each time it gets funnier. Tenya Ida, who's obsessed with studying, has a room full of books, not to mention a hilarious collection of glasses, because their training is going to be so intense, he expects them to break. I kind of want my own wall of glasses. Todoroki takes a lot of inspiration from his very own home. It's a very traditional Japanese-looking style, which impresses everyone, and even Hantasero has an Asian-inspired room, which seems to get the attention of a lot of folks. Koji's room is what you would expect, being cute and cuddly, and even having a pet bunny in there. Also, did you notice that Ochako and Mina were actually wearing Tenya's glasses in that scene? Pretty awesome. Yuga Aoyama's room is absolutely dazzling, as he says, and I love the fact that he has a disco ball. Eijiro Kirishima's room is exactly what you'd expect, incredibly manly, filled with all of this amazing imagery, and I just want to say this right now. I want that clock in his room with the flexing muscles. One of the most surprising rooms, and spoiler alert, the one that actually wins the big Room King contest, is none other than Rikido Sato. And his room looks really normal at first, except for the fact that he seems to have an oven in his room because he has to bake sweets for himself. He can save a lot of money that way, but it also gets the attention of the girls, who absolutely love his cake. The way to a woman's heart is cake. Trust me. A few more of them get shown in montage style, and basically it's exactly what you would expect from these characters. However, Bakugo and Tsuyu Asui decide that they're actually not going to be a part of this, with Bakugo going to sleep, and Tsuyu having a more important scene and reason for opting out of this at the very end of the episode. But of course, one of the best running gags about this one is the fact that Minoru Mineta is just the biggest pervert in the world. Some of the expressions that he has in this episode are mind-bogglingly hilarious, but I'm so sad that we didn't actually get to see what his room is like, but it's kind of understandable as when the girls are heading towards it, he looks like he's quite literally trying to lure them in a very creepy way. And for the most part, that's like the entire episode right there, aside from one final scene where Tsuyu Asui actually decides to apologize to everyone who was involved with saving Katsuki Bakugo. A lot of this is for the one bit of dialogue that she had where she said that if they go off to do this, they're no worse than the actual villains themselves. And of course she felt really bad about this, and she felt that at this moment she almost wouldn't even be able to associate or laugh or hang out with her friends anymore. And she starts to break down in front of them, and it's all sad and schmaltzy, but it's a really great moment because it shows that now that they're all going to be living together, there's going to be no more secrets. Everyone is going to get a lot closer, and I think it's going to make for a much better dynamic for the entire show. Really, this was just a pleasant, fun episode. So, what's the rundown on this episode of My Hero Academia? Pretty much exactly what I said in the first half of the review. This was a really nice deep dive into the personalities of a lot of these characters. It's amazing what just by looking at the rooms you can actually get a much better feel for who they are as characters. And this brand new setting, I think, is going to be a lot of fun. It basically just means we're going to get less downtime and more time with these characters, which is something that I'm very pumped about. I also love that they addressed the fact that Izuku's mom's hairstyle looks strikingly similar to All Might's Master's. Aside from that, there's not much more of a connection, and I'm really glad that she allowed Izuku to go to UA again and to live with all of his friends. She truly is one of the greatest anime moms of all time. And the good news is it looks like we're not going to have to waste much time with getting to the next major arc of the series. The preview indicates that we're finally going to get back to some crazy, explosive action that the series is known for. But again, I need to stress that this episode right here is a demonstration of, I think, really why My Hero Academia is so popular. The characters themselves. A lot of people can relate to them in a number of ways. They're so fun and ridiculous, and every single character is awesome. I mean, that's really the best thing about it. There's someone there for everyone. And seeing their interactions and growth throughout the entire series is arguably the cornerstone of all of it. The action itself is really great and super exciting and serviceable, but it would mean nothing if these characters were not fun and interesting to watch. And they are, and they're totally worth your time if you want to get into My Hero Academia. So, I'm giving this episode a 5 out of 5. I truly loved these episodes. I feel like I know these characters a lot more even after this one, and I still continue to love every single one of them. Even Yuga, who I've always said in the past really annoyed me, he's actually starting to grow on me with his ridiculous, dazzling nature. So there it is, 5 out of 5 from me. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episode, however, and you can tell me all of them in the comments section below. Which was your favorite dorm room in this episode and why? And if you had your very own superhero dorm room, what would you deck it out with? And what do you hope to see from the rest of My Hero Academia? Thank you guys for watching this review. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, stay down, baby.